Hey, good morning, everybody. For today's Devo, I'm in kind of a local ghost town. You probably know that there's lots of little ghost towns and ruins in the Santa Cruz Mountains and along the coast. And today I'm here at the one that's up in the hills next to Wilder Ranch. This was actually a cabin that was built by the Wilder family. And they used it to host parties, Christmas parties, and so on. At times, up to 40 people would gather here for parties, and now it's just derelict. But let's take a look inside this abandoned, ruined cabin. You can see the rooms are vast. I imagine them filled with the sound of Christmas celebrations. Let's take a peek in here. This is what's left of the kitchen. You can see the sink there and some of the other things. It's interesting that although it's a ruin, and you can see some of the fireplaces, there are still amazingly 1 or 2 or 3 original panes of glass left that haven't been smashed in by local hoodlums. But I look at these buildings and I think of all of the joy and the fun that happened here, the 3 generations of the Wilder family that took part in some of the celebrations here. And now it's all empty. There's nothing left. It's a little village, little cabin after cabin. There's a little barn here. But it makes me think of how I've heard some people describe the state of their soul right now. People have told me, man, Rene, this pandemic thing, this has got me bad. I feel dried up psychologically and spiritually. And I just want to say to you, don't give up now. If you feel like one of these buildings, like I used to have parties, I used to have fun, I used to have people over, I used to gather, and now nobody's been in my house for a year. It may as well be the old wrecked Wilder cabin, and that's how my soul feels too. Don't give up. Don't give up. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and God still has a plan for you. You know, for some reason, when I was walking through these ruins, I thought of Ezekiel 37. That's the famous passage where Ezekiel sees the valley of dry bones. And God tells him, do you believe these dry bones can live? And Ezekiel's like, well, you alone know, Lord. And God gives Ezekiel a vision of all these old, dusty skeletons getting flesh on their bones again and becoming a mighty army. And he tells Ezekiel that this is a vision, a metaphor for the land and people of Israel. He says to him, my people tell me our bones are dried up. Our hope is gone. We are cut off. And maybe that's what you feel like too. But God promises them, these bones will live again. He says, these bones stand for the land of Israel, and I will put my spirit in them and bring them back to their land, and they will live again. It's as if you could imagine a vision of these buildings being full of festivities and celebration again. And I want to tell you, that's what God can do for you again. The rooms that psychologically, spiritually, metaphorically, and literally have been emptied of the parties and celebrations and banquets, they will be filled again. There will be joy again. And we can claim this because of Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him and are the called according to his purpose. So don't give up. You know, ghost towns can be beautiful in their own way too, and the ghost town periods of our life can be beautiful. God can use those periods of drought and those periods of lack to build us, to make us stronger. Allow his Holy Spirit to do his work in your life now. And then when the rooms are filled with celebration again, and they will be, you'll be more joyful than ever. Remember that, and have a great day today.